Welcome back. I'm Wyatt Goolsby in for Lauren Ashburn. Iceland's controversial practice of promoting women to get an abortion after positive test results for Down syndrome is back in the spotlight. That after a recent CBS News program saying Iceland is supposedly eliminating Down syndrome.
My understanding is that we have basically eradicated almost Down syndrome from our society, that there is hardly ever a child born with Down syndrome in Iceland anymore.
Our next guest is a well-known pro-life activist who believes this practice in Iceland is genocide. Joining us now via Skype from the San Francisco Bay Area is Lila Rose, the founder and president of Live Action, a human rights organization dedicated to ending abortion. So Lila, what is your reaction first off to the CBS News report that indicates many babies are being aborted simply because they're likely to have Down syndrome?
It's heartbreaking, Wyatt. We're learning about what is effectively a genocide of a whole group of people in Iceland, and it's happening in other countries across the world. It's happening in the United States to a degree as well, where children, just because of having Down syndrome, are being targeted and killed. They're not eliminating Down syndrome as a condition. They're eliminating people with Down syndrome. They're killing off a whole group of people that are given the same right to life by God that you and I have, people that have dignity and that should be cherished and loved and celebrated, not killed.
What kind of message do you think this sends to people who have Down syndrome or just other disorders?
Well, I think it's a clear message to people with Down syndrome that, especially in Iceland, for the few that have been born, there's just been a couple each year, that you are a mistake, you're not welcome here. And that's exactly the wrong message to be sending to other human beings. Suffering or conditions that a child may face, or whether it's a genetic condition or other disabilities, these are not things that should warrant their death sentence. These are things that should invite the care and the support of families, of parents, of medical professionals, and of communities.
In the report, they say having children with Down syndrome causes pain for the children and the families, and that's why most people abort their children. What would you say to the people of Iceland?
We can't be killing children because they experience pain. Death is not the answer. We find solutions to pain. And this is exactly the line of thought that eugenicists in the early 20th century, like Margaret Sanger, who founded the biggest abortion chain, Planned Parenthood, had. They claimed they were eliminating suffering, but they were actually killing off whole groups of people that they deemed unfit to live. And those who were disabled or who had conditions like Down syndrome were considered not fit to live. That's completely the wrong way to look at other human beings. It's not our right, just because you might think you're stronger or less disabled, to kill off others that seem weaker. And after all, Wyatt, we all have disabilities. We all have challenges in life. Suffering is part of life, but we should be uplifting each other instead of looking at those that are weakest to be killed.
It's such a powerful message that you have there, and a good response to this disturbing report. Lila Rose, founder and president of Live Action, thanks so much for talking with us.
Thanks for having me.